the export of Russian oil has been effectively paralyzed, and the Black Sea Fleet continues to sink. Ukraine has dealt a series of devastating blows to the economy and the military machine of the aggressor country. In Novorossiysk, military ships and an oil terminal have been hit. In the Belgorod region, a costly enemy air defense system was completely burned to the ground. New swarms of drones are already attacking strategic airfields in Saratov. Get the details in this report. From Danilo Diomin.
A large-scale attack on the port of Novorossiysk. New details. According to sources in the security service of Ukraine, drones struck the minesweeper Valentin Pikul and seriously damaged two anti-submarine ships, Yeysk and Kasimov. The enemy also suffered personnel losses.
The security service of Ukraine systematically strikes the enemy where they consider themselves safe, in ports, at bases, and deep in the rear. For Russian military facilities, there are no protected zones. As long as Russia wages war against Ukraine, it will not be safe at sea, on land, or in the rear.
But the main blow was dealt to the economy of the aggressor country. 6 out of the 7 oil tankers at the Sheskari's terminal, an S-300 complex radar system, and a Panzer S-2 unit were all destroyed. According to Reuters, due to massive attacks, Russia has effectively lost the ability to export oil through the Black Sea. It is impossible to redirect supplies to the Baltic because of the ice, and Europe is actively detaining tankers from Russia's shadow fleet. In the Belgorod region, the defense forces cost the enemy $1 billion with a single precise strike. National Guard fighters and the Joint Forces Group successfully tracked down and destroyed the highly valued pride of Russia's air defense, the S-400 Triumph surface-to-air missile system. Its destruction has significantly weakened and compromised the occupiers' defenses, which allowed Ukrainian aviation to operate much more actively in the Kharkiv direction.
Following joint analysis, aerial reconnaissance from the 499th Battalion of Special Purpose spotted a SAM system in enemy territory. Data was sent to the NGU Lasers Group Strike UAV unit.
And on the night of March 5th, Russia was hit by a new wave of drones. The Saratov region was hit the hardest. Locals counted about 60 explosions. The Saratov oil refinery and the Engels 2 airfield were targeted. This is where Russia's strategic aviation, which attacks Ukraine, is based. Russian officials are complaining about damaged infrastructure. Some cities have been left without power. Explosions were also heard in the Krasnodar region. In the city of Armavir, a drone has successfully carried out a strike on the Pobeda machine building plant.
As a result of the UAV attack, property was damaged. Specialists are responding promptly to all incoming challenges. All relevant services are working at the scene. According to preliminary information, 3 people were injured. They are already receiving the necessary medical assistance.
Billions in massive losses to air defense, blocked exports, and fires at strategic facilities. Ukrainian UAV attacks clearly demonstrate the enemy's deep rear is a thing of the past, and the cost of war for the Kremlin is becoming astronomical. Danilo Diomin, reporting the details for the Inter TV channel and the United News Marathon.
The Azerbaijani Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reported the first ever attack by Iranian drones on its territory. The international airport in Nakhchivan came under attack. One of the Iranian kamikaze drones struck the terminal on the airport grounds, while another fell near a school in the village of Shikarabat. As a result of the attack, 2 people were injured. The airport terminal building sustained damage. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Azerbaijan has already summoned the Iranian ambassador to deliver a note of protest and is demanding urgent explanations. Azerbaijan, which had maintained neutrality for a long time, called Tehran's actions a blatant violation of international law and stated that it reserves the right to take retaliatory measures. On the night of March 5th, Iran carried out a massive 3-wave ballistic missile attack on Israeli territory. Air raid sirens sounded in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and the central regions of the country. This is already the 6th day of the full-scale conflict. The first wave of strikes commenced at midnight. And at approximately 4 in the morning, the Home Front Command sent urgent notifications to citizens' phones. Israeli air defense systems were actively working to intercept targets in the skies over the central part of the country. At the same time, the Israel Defense Forces were carrying out a series of new strikes on Hezbollah targets in Beirut, as well as on strategic infrastructure in Tehran. The Pentagon and the Gulf countries are negotiating the purchase of Ukrainian interceptor drones to defend against Iranian Shaheds. Interest in Ukrainian defense developments has grown significantly amid the US and Israeli military operation against Iran. According to the Financial Times, countries in the region are looking for an affordable alternative to expensive air defense missiles. The cost of a Ukrainian interceptor is only a few $1,000s, whereas a single missile for the Patriot system costs more than $13.5 million. Ukraine already has unique experience in the serial destruction of Shahed-type drones using these cost-effective systems. In Kyiv, the negotiations are described as sensitive, and it is strongly emphasized that any sale or licensed production of Ukrainian technologies abroad must take place only with the direct approval of the Ukrainian side. The war in the Middle East poses a direct threat to Ukraine's defense capability due to a shortage of air defense systems and the disruption of supply chains. This was stated by the High Representative of the EU, Kaja Kallas. Before the start of the EU Foreign Ministers' video conference on March 5th, Kaja Kallas emphasized that resources critically needed by the Ukrainian armed forces are increasingly being redirected to the Middle East. She pointed out that the same drones attacking Dubai are also attacking Kyiv, and that the rising demand for interceptor missiles from Gulf countries is creating direct competition for the increasingly limited Western air defense capabilities. At the same time, the diplomat emphasized that Ukraine could become a strategic partner for Arab countries by sharing its experience in the production and use of inexpensive interceptor drones.
When the price of oil rises, it actually helps Russia finance its war. And that is precisely why we must persistently push for the introduction of a ban on maritime services in order to truly restrict the shadow fleet and Russia's oil revenues, which it uses to finance this war.
Poland has begun the emergency evacuation of its citizens from the Middle East. The country's Air Force planes have already flown into the conflict zone. The operation involving military aviation began today, March 5th at 6 o'clock in the morning local time. The operational command of the Polish Armed Forces has officially confirmed the departure of special flights to evacuate Poles from dangerous areas. The strategic decision to involve the military air force was made against the backdrop of a critical escalation in the region and the looming threat of a complete halt to all commercial air traffic. So, Poland has now joined the United States and other Western allies who are urgently evacuating their entire diplomatic corps and many civilians.